Hello, everybody. Um, welcome, welcome. By the time I post this, it's probably going to be the Sabbath. So if you're watching this on the Shabbat, happy Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, praise Yahusha, and praise Yahuwah. Now, typically when I do prophecies, for those that watch Yahuwah's word on my platforms, um, typically when I do prophecy, I do it with a background, but I wanted to make today's prophecy a little bit more engaging. So I decided to come and bring my face on the screen to give this prophecy. Um, Now, where do I start? I don't know, but what I will say is, um, I'm not American, but the whole world knows that the country of America just had their presidential elections. And I was standing in the kitchen one day, kind of just thinking to Yoa, if that makes sense. Just thinking, like, thinking about different things um, and whatnot. And when I was standing in my kitchen, it was just, I felt as if there was a flip. What I mean by that is my whole life, um, I've been brought up in this world as everybody else has. I've been brought up in this world. Um, you know, we've moved to the course of this world to what our parents have showed us, what our cousins, our aunties, our uncles, grandparents, teachers, classmates, and whatnot. We just moved along, and this is what we call life. But the course of the world that was before Corona times, before 2020, it's done. Like it's done. That's what I meant. That's what I mean when I say there was a switch. I felt like, how can I describe this? It's done. It's done. The world that you have known your whole life, it's done. That is of the past. That is of the past. That is past tense. And now, though they're not hiding it, but for some reason, the dead, the blind are not able to see what's going on. But our world is changing. Like, our world is not the same. I think everybody can feel that life has not felt the way it did prior to COVID since COVID, since Corona times, guys. So, with that being said, a few months ago, maybe 5 months ago, I don't know. If you go on my channel, I posted a prophecy saying the beast system is here. Yahusha gave me that prophecy maybe 5, 6 months ago. I didn't think it would be now, but this is in correlation to that feeling that I had in my kitchen of it's done. Meaning we're working towards a new world. We're working towards a new system. We're working towards the beast system. Those that are alive right now, unless you are very old of age or um, you pass away or anything like that, you're going to see the beast system. You're going to see life the way that they have been depicting in these movies and showing us a crazy world, a weird world where the Antichrist himself, Satan's son, will rise up and save the world. That's what it will look like, because he's going to come when everybody's going to be so desperate, because Yahweh is bringing judgment. Before I started this prophecy, he said, tell them I'm judging the wicked. This is not just only for pastors, Satan's pastors that are pretending to be Yahweh's workers, servants, I should say. It's not just for these people, but it's the average person. Yahweh is judging the wicked. I hope you guys understand that. What does it mean? How do you know if you're wicked? How do you know? Go read Romans chapter 1. That is how you know if you are wicked or not. Let's read that actually. Let me read it actually. I'll read it. I'll read it, okay? I'll actually read that. Oh gosh. This world is just crazy. You know in the Bible how Yahusha says we must hate the world and we must hate the things of this world? When I read that years ago, I didn't feel hatred. I'm at a point in my life now where I hate this world. I hate it because it's wicked. This is a world where righteousness is not really desired. You know, we have a duty as individuals on this earth, and that is to uphold righteousness. That is to do what is pleasing to Yahuwah, which is, yes, his Torah, which is why Yahusha said he will tell those that don't keep it to depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. Why would Yahusha say this if the law is dead? Why would he say that? Why? This world has been transformed, but people don't know that because they don't understand how Satan works. That's the problem. People don't understand Satan, and that's how this beast system is able to come forth. Like, yeah, yes, it is prophecy, but the reason why this is allowed to happen is because people are focusing, and I say this all the time, but people are focusing on things that don't matter. Go to work, go to school, but your heart should not be there. Like, your heart should be, oh, yo, what is pleasing to you? Is there anything in my life that is not pleasing to you? Yo, when you see me, what do you see in me, in my characteristics, in my way of life that is disgusting to you and that you hate, so that I can pluck it out from me and so I can live a life pleasing to you? But the average person is not doing this, is not focusing on this on a daily basis. They're focusing on nonsense, things of this world. And soon they're going to be completely destroyed. Anyways, let's read Romans 1, verse 16 to 32. Okay? For I am not ashamed of the good news of Mashiach, for it is the power of Elohim for deliverance to everyone who believes, to the Yehudi first, and also to the Yamanite. So basically saying to the Jew first, because that is they're the ones that are in covenant with Yahuwah, right? They're first, but us who are not of Yehuda, or we're not by blood Israelites, you know, we can also partake in this. For in it the righteousness of Elohim is revealed from belief to belief, as it has been written, but the righteous shall live by belief. For the wrath of Elohim is revealed from the Shemaim, from the heavens, against all wickedness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which is known of Elohim is manifest among them, for Elohim has manifested it to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisibilities have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, both his everlasting power and mightiness, for them to be without excuse. And why are they going to be without excuse? Because though they knew Elohim, they knew that there was a God, they knew that there was a creator, they didn't esteem him as Elohim. They didn't give thanks. But Instead, they became vain in their reasonings, and their undiscerning heart was darkened. And they claimed to be wise, but they became fools. And they changed the esteem of the incorruptible Elohim into the likeness of an image of corruptible man, and of birds, of four-footed beasts, of reptiles. Therefore, Elohim gave them up to uncleanness in the lust of their hearts, to disrespect their bodies among themselves. Because they changed the truth, who changed the truth of Elohim into falsehood and worshipped and served what is created rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. And because of this, Elohim gave them over to degrading passions, for even their women exchanged natural relations for what is against nature. And likewise, the men also, having left natural relations with women, they burned in lust for one another, men with men, committing indecency and receiving back the reward which was due for their straying. And even as they did not think it worthwhile to possess the knowledge of Elohim, Elohim gave them over to a worthless mind to do what is improper, having been filled with all unrighteousness, whoring, wickedness, greed, evil, filled with envy, murder, fighting, deceit, evil habits, whisperers, slanderers, haters of Elohim, insolent, proud, boasters, devisers of evils, disobedient to parents, without discernment, covenant breakers, unloving, unforgiving, ruthless, who, though they know the righteousness of Elohim, that those who practice such deserve death, not only do the same, but also approve of them who practice them. So this is basically saying people that practice such know that there's a God. They know what the right thing to do is, but they suppress the truth of Yahuwah. They don't give him thanks the way that we're supposed to. They don't esteem him the way that he says he wants us to esteem him. But instead, they change the esteem of Yahuwah into an image of man. We're not supposed to have idols. Hello? Let me just put different pictures here of all the different religions. This is basically saying these people do what they don't want. They don't want Yahuwah. Like, I don't know how else to put it. They don't want Yahuwah. They don't want him. They don't want his ways. They don't want to do what he likes. They don't want to live a life pleasing to him. They want to do whatever they want to do. And instead of giving Yahuwah the esteem that he deserves, they are esteeming photos of men, the photo of the Jesus Christ. That is, people literally worship that. People literally think that's what Yahusha looks like. That's why we're not supposed to have idols. That's what the Bible says. We're not supposed to have idols. We're not supposed to have statues and photos of, no. It's here. It's here. It's transformation of your mind. It's righteousness. It's loving the right thing. These people also are, photos of man, birds, four-footed beasts, reptiles, for the other religions as well that have their different idols and statues of whatever that they bow down to. These people leave the natural relation. Do you guys remember when, who was it? In the book of Judges, I think it's like the second last chapter of Judges, there was a man from Ephraim. Yeah, from the tribe of Ephraim with his wife, something like that, with his wife. And they were traveling, but they wanted to rest in the land of Benjamin. So basically, we know that Yahuwah gave the Israelites their land, right? Each tribe had their own area of land. So this man was resting in the area, the land of the Benjaminites, okay? This tribe of Israelites. And as there's a stranger that let him in his house and said, no problem, you and your wife, come stay at my house. That's okay. So they go there, and as they're sleeping, there's The scripture itself says that they are men of Bilal, meaning men of Satan. And they came and they're knocking on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Because they saw that man with his wife, they're not from there. And they said to the owner, let us in. All men at the door. Let us in. Let us in. Bring that man outside so we can know him. Meaning, bring that man out here so we can do sexual activities with him. That's what those men were saying on the door. And the home owner said, please, please, don't bring this foolishness here. Don't bring this indecency here. Please. Those men, those homosexual men, ended up taking the woman that was there, and they actually killed her. She died. I don't know what they did to her. It doesn't actually say, but it says that she died. Like, she died in the hands of those men. So in those times, it was recognized that that was indecency and that it's not of Yahuwah. But in these times, even women, it literally says even women, like, that's so shocking. Even the women will exchange natural relations for what is against nature. And likewise, the men are going to exchange for natural relations, and they'll burn. It literally says they will burn in their lust for one another. That's what it says right there. Not only that, but people are going to be filled with all unrighteousness, whoring, wickedness, greed, evil, filled with envy, murder, fighting, deceit, evil habits, whisperers, slanderers, haters of Yahuwah. That doesn't mean they say, F you, God. But they just don't do what some people do say that, but it's more than that. It's just them living a lifestyle of what Yahuwah doesn't like, of what is disgusting. All wickedness. It literally says in here. That is the average person now. That is the average individual now. This is what they do. Oh, proud, boasters, devisers of evil, disobedient to parents without discernment, covenant breakers, unloving, unforgiving, ruthless. Those who practice such deserve death. And not only those do the same, but also approve of those who practice them. So it's basically saying that, like, those who do the same thing approve of their fellow people that engage in this behavior. Meaning they're friends with one another. Which is why we're supposed to be separate from them. Doesn't the Bible say that? It makes sense. Everything in the Bible is connected. Everything in the Bible is so connected. What I'm trying to say here, because of Romans chapter 1, Yahuwah is bringing judgment on the wicked. If you are not righteous, you are wicked. It doesn't matter what human stupid definitions are. What matters is what the Bible says. And when we look at the world, most people do whatever they want to do in a day-to-day. There's no order. There's no, what is pleasing to Yahuwah? People don't care. People do care. A small group of people care, but most people don't care. That's why the Bible says Satan deceives the whole earth. The whole earth. So it's most people. It's literally, sorry, most people. Be for real. Just listen to your family members when they talk. What are their habits? What do they do in a day? Do you ever hear them talking about righteousness? Most people don't even say that word. Most people don't even know what that word means. Not because they're not able to know what it means, but because they don't want to know what it means, unfortunately. So, that was a very long introduction, but what I'm trying to say here is, this is why Yahusha is bringing judgment on the wicked. How is Yahusha going to bring judgment on the wicked? There's many, many, many different ways, but what I'm instructed to talk about today is the pale horse in the book of Revelation. I don't know when. I was sitting on my floor one day praying, and Yahusha started. I'm not gonna list their names, but Yahusha started to list it people that I went to elementary school with, their names, um, listing people that I know, people that I have partied with, and told in my time before. We're not partiers no more, but I used to party a lot before I knew Yahusha. Um, and many young people, it's already happening now, but when this horse is released, which Yahusha is releasing, it's going to be more intense. A lot of young people, I'll post some screenshots because I found some on the internet. Yeah, people get killed and murdered and whatever every day, but when you look at the amount of people that are dying or getting killed and their ages, it's very odd. It's not just happening in one place, but the whole world right now. It's really weird. Um, and the reason why it's happening is because um, Yahusha is bringing judgment on the wicked. I don't know how else to put it. So all those people that were listed, who I'm not going to say, but Yahusha informed me, there's going to be people that I know that are going to die. They're already dead spiritually, but they're going to not be on this earth anymore. How? Let's read this chapter of Revelation. And I saw when the Lamb opened. What is Yahusha? Yahusha is the Lamb. But I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the four living creatures saying, like a sound of thunder, "Come and see." And I looked and saw a white horse, and he who sat on it holding a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out overcoming and to overcome. And when he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come and see." And another horse, fiery red, went out, and it was given to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, and that they should slay one another. And a great sword was given to him. So that seal we can kind of see slowly happening. All these different countries talking about war. Canada right now, I believe they're in Russia or Ukraine, but they're preparing for something. And I don't think most Canadians are aware that they're practicing right now. But anyways, a lot of different countries are at their bases, they're practicing, they're getting ready for war. These countries, their presidents are not really hiding it either, that the wartime. And it's not just going to be one country, it's going to be the whole earth that peace is going to be taken from. So we can already see how this horse is um, not far from us. Um, but I will continue. He opened up the third seal, and I heard the living creature say, "Come and see." And I looked and saw a black horse, and he who sat on it holding a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A measure of wheat for a denarius, and 3 measures of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and wine." So I said this in one of my other prophecies, but a denarius is basically um, and past tense, sorry, in those previous times, a denarius was how much income one earned in a day. So imagine a measure of wheat for a denarius. So a measure of wheat, so a serving of wheat, you could say, a serving of bread, um, that will be your whole days of earning just for bread, imagine. And we can already see that happening right now with inflation and with the cost of living um, increasing severely in price, and it's not going down. And in one of my other prophecies, Yahusha did say economic hardship is coming to Canada, and he's not going to help us because we're wicked. Because of Romans chapter 1, that's why. That is how most Canadians are living. So we already see this happening, but the oil and the wine are not going to be touched. So to my understanding, that just sounds like There's going to be maybe food shortages as well, but there's going to be oil and wine. That won't be a problem. But obviously, we're not going to be wanting, we're not going to be wanting oil and wine. We're going to be wanting food to eat. So all these seals are not really far from us, everybody, if you're paying attention. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about that seal too much because I talked about it before, but we're going to talk about now verse 7. And when he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come and see." And I looked and saw a pale horse, and he who sat on it had the name Death, and the grave followed with him, and authority was given to them over 1/4 of the earth, to kill with the sword, with hunger, what did I just say? And with death, and by the beasts of the earth. So notice how it says, and he who sat on it had the name of Death, and the grave followed with him, and authority was given to them over 1/4 of the earth. Meaning, what did I just say maybe 5-10 minutes ago? The people that were, the names that were given to me, they're already dead. And Yahusha said they are going to die by this horse, the pale horse. Meaning, death and the grave will follow. Yahusha will say, "Death, you want to take them? Go ahead." What is Yahusha supposed to do? What is Yahusha supposed to do? We're at a point now where it's like, people of this earth don't understand. You are provoking him to anger. The average person is provoking the Messiah to anger every day. Do you guys understand how angry? Do you understand how tired he probably is? I'm tired. I'm tired of this world. I hate this world because it's disgusting and wicked. And people are so selfish and they don't care about one another. And people are disrespectful for no reason. Everything opposite of how we're supposed to live is what we do. So death and the grave. This horse is going to be released. Death and the grave. And they're going to kill. What does it say? 1/4 of the earth. And how are these people going to die? Some are going to die with the sword. So some are going to get killed. Some with hunger. And with death. And beasts of the earth. So 4 ways these people are going to die. 1/4 of the earth. So it's not just going to be the people that I know personally, some of them, but 1/4 of the earth. Yahusha is going to allow this to happen. He's going to allow this to happen. And quite frankly, I think we deserve it. Because we want to provoke him to anger. Like, people don't understand. I'm still talking. I'm just checking on my rice. Way back. But I'm still going to talk. People don't understand that, and I say this all the time, everything we do is recorded. Everything we do is recorded. Our actions, our deeds are recorded. Does it not say that that's how it's going to be on Judgment Day? The books were opened. Meaning your book is going to be opened by Yahusha himself. And Yahusha will tell Yahuwah if he knows you or not. This is not a joke. We're going to see mass death on this earth, you guys. Yahusha is judging the wicked and their households because they hate him. And righteousness is not desired by most people on this earth. Yes, it's more intense and it's more lawless, you could say, in Western countries, especially America, especially Babylon. modern Babylon. But it's the whole world. It's the whole world. Anyways, for the believer, sorry guys, I'm like trying to mix this. I can do this later. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. My goodness. Anyways, for the believer, this should not scare you. You should already be aware of these things, maybe not to not the full degree, but you should feel that we're not times are different, you guys. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't know. We should already be prepared. We should already be ready for this. Life is going to be very crazy, and many people are not going to be ready because they just don't want to be. It's really that simple. They just don't. It's not important enough. This life is a test. Um, a test. Really, it's a test to see um, who wants Yahuwah and who doesn't. And because most of the world doesn't want him, that's why these things are happening. Like Yahuwah is not, they don't want to follow me. I'm gonna punish them. But it's like it's because those who don't follow him, they're not just not following him, they're wicked. Romans 1, everything I listed in Romans 1, that's what they do. People are disgusting in behavior. People's behavior is sick, nasty. It's not just about the easy things, the don't fornicate, don't defile the wedding bed. No, it's deeper than that. Your heart must be clean. Your thoughts. This is why I talk about Christianity all the time, because they act like Romans chapter 1. A lot of them may not be sexually immoral. A lot are, but some are not. But it's because they still are participating in unrighteousness. They are slanderers. I know a lot of Christians that are slanderers, and they love gossiping, and it makes them feel great putting other people down. Driving past a homeless person, no problem. No desire to do what is pleasing to Yahuwah in any way possible. But Christians are going to be very confused soon, and they're not going to be ready for what's happening to what's going to happen. I should say what's happening because it's here. We're not far from it. So, anyways, praise Yahuwah, praise Yahusha. What I will say, following Yahuwah is very hard. It's not easy. It's the hardest thing I can say I've ever done in my life, but I am filled, like, do you see the way I was smiling when I first came on the camera? Is this something to really be smiling about? I'm not happy about this. It actually really saddens me. And I wish that people would just choose Yahuwah because it's so much better. But people don't want him. But, dang, there's no lack. I'm telling you, in Yahusha, there's no lack. I don't want this world. I told you, I hate it. I want to spit on it. That's what I want to do. I want this place to blow up. It's just nasty. It's a disgusting place. And that's why it's going to get destroyed, because it's disgusting. It's nasty. Filthy. But Yahusha, there is nothing you lack. When I say, you guys, I don't talk to anybody. I don't talk to nobody. But I am So happy. Bro. Who knew? Who knew? Like, how is it possible? Anyways, I'm not trying to make this about myself. I'm just trying to encourage anybody that may be struggling or you may feel alone in Yahusha. I promise you, this walk changed my life. Changed my life. Oh my gosh, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. Let me tell you. And if somebody who was a partier, I used to smoke weed every day. I used to party. Let me tell you, I used to turn up. I used to gossip as well. I was rude. I didn't act like somebody that followed Yahusha. Maybe out of my mouth I said, but if you saw the way, I didn't. Most Christians, you wouldn't know that they're Christian because of the way that they act. Like, you would never know. But once I gave Yahusha 1 year, he changed my life. I'm not going back. From somebody that went from that to this, I'm telling you, this is better. This is way better. It may take time, but trust me, this way, it's just better to follow Yahusha. It's just the right thing to do. It's rewarding to help people that need help. It's rewarding to not even have hate for your enemies, to be honest. It is. It feels great. It actually feels better. It feels good. Like, I don't know what else to say. But anyways, that was the prophecy. The pale horse, 1/4 of the earth, is going to get striked. Yahusha is going to allow this to happen because of Romans 1, because they love wickedness and they do disgusting things. Okay? When I say disgusting, I just mean all unrighteousness, all slandering, all gossiping, all hate in your heart, bullying, fighting, every nonsense, sexual immorality, lawlessness, like all of this and worse. This is what people do. Varies person by person, but this is what people of the world do. And because of this, 1/4 of them are going to get striked. And this is the horse that is about to be revealed. For us that want Yahusha, let us continue to get ready for the times that we're in, because we're not far from the beast system. Let us continue to endure to the end. Let us continue to blot out all unrighteousness and to live lifestyles pleasing to the King Yahusha and to Yahuwah, our Father. Let us serve Yahuwah wholeheartedly. Let him, when he looks down, say, that's my daughter. That's my son. That's what I'm talking about. Don't you want Yahusha to say that about you? Don't you want to feel like good to do his will? We have duties here, but people don't want to do them because they're busy. They're busy doing what's in Romans chapter 1. They're busy. They're busy living for this world. They're busy. And who's happy in the end? Satan. Satan is the only one that's happy. Because all these people, whether they die in this way that I just listed with the pale horse, whatever it is, in the end, they're all going to participate in the second death. And who's going to be happy about that? Nobody but Satan. Remember what I said earlier. Christians don't understand. People don't understand Satan. And that's why he's able to deceive the whole earth. This is a battle between righteousness and wickedness. And you must choose what side you want. Or soon, you're not going to be able to. It'll be chosen for you. Technically, you've already chosen it. You've already chosen which one you want, because you would have just chose righteousness. But anyway, praise Yahuwah, praise Yahusha. This is the word of Yahuwah. Let us who love Yahuwah get ready. Let us get ready for these days so that we can endure. whether some of us get killed or not. Some will, some won't. But let us endure until the very end, and let us do what is pleasing to Yahuwah every day. Yahusha is he's a good friend to have. Praise Yahuwah. Praise Yahusha. Hallelujah. Shalom for now. I'll be back. Bye-bye.